Making e-commerce social now, this is thoughtful. Hello, I'm Clement Tsang in Shanghai. E-commerce continues to be one of the hottest trends in China's consumer landscape today. According to research in March of this year by Prosper Insights and Analytics, 74.3% of adult Chinese consumers regularly purchase products online, representing 45% growth since March 2011. In the US, by comparison, just 29.2% of adults regularly purchase products online. But China's online consumers behave differently from their Western counterparts, particularly when it comes to the importance of peer-to-peer influence and online recommendations. It is no longer possible for retailers and brand owners to have a passive relationship with their customers. Instead, they have to learn to harness the power of social media. This week on Thoughtful China, one of our regular guests is back on the show, Viveca Chan, Chairman and CEO of We Marketing Group. And she's here to talk about how to move beyond online sales and make e-commerce social. Viveca, welcome back to the studio today.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back again.
So tell us about We Marketing. I think your evolution of the business has really followed how communications in China has also evolved, from traditional to digital to social and now e-commerce. Tell us more about how you follow that journey.
Sure. Being in marketing communication for many years, I have always thought of, okay, what's next? Because I think we need to be ahead in this industry to be leading the consumer. So in 2005, I started We Marketing as a East meet West agency, hoping to combine the best of East meets West, therefore helping local clients globalize and local clients globalize and global clients localize, because I see that kind of importance there. But then 3 years ago, I started We Digital because I see that consumers are not just wanting image advertising and all that, but wanted to more engagement, advocacy. So we started primarily social media, particular focus in China, Weibo, Weixin now. Because at that time, there was really no agency with strategic capability, brand building capability, but also knowing the China social media scene. So that is something we see a need there. Then when we have image advertising, we have built a lot of fans, the clients are asking, so what if I have thousands of fans, and how is that helping my business? So if they are very active, they interact, and then they tweet and all that, so what does that affect business? So I think that this is the opportunity, and then consumers are buying more and more on the internet. It is certainly growing. Now this year projected to be 32%, whereas the offline business is declining. So I thought if we can link our power in branding, then in social and interaction, then direct them to e-commerce, then that will be the perfect linking of the last mile. And this is, I think, what advertisers have always been talking about. How can we prove our ROI? So I thought if we can link all that, then we can have this final solution. We can prove ROI on all these brand investment you have made. So therefore, I started the e-commerce business last year, end of December. And what we were able to do was actually do what I just said. We can link now all these touch points into the e-commerce. And we can really track everything, tracking what is generating return on investment, what is generating sales, where the consumers are coming from. So I think, wow, this is like magic come true, like solving all these questions our clients had asked us before. So that is from one perspective. From the other perspective is you have to add something to e-commerce, right? So I thought e-commerce is actually also evolving. So in the past, people go on the internet. Why? Because it's cheaper. Because it's cheaper because you are paying for the inconvenience, because it's less convenient. But as people are moving to e-commerce more and more, it's kind of a normal habit, then it's no longer price alone. You have got value for money. It's also more and more on branding, more and more on creativity, etc., and more and more social. So apart from just cheap, now actually e-commerce is a lot more sophisticated. So also there's the need in e-commerce now, with people with branding expertise, with creativity, with social expertise, will add a lot more value and enhance the sales and traffic. So I think it's on both sides, the need for agencies to evolve there and also the need for e-commerce companies to upgrade. So I thought it's a perfect match.
It definitely is, and I think 2014 is the year of Solo-Mo. I mean, everybody's been talking about it for so long. The Mobile Asia Conference is in Shanghai this week. The catchphrase is content, personalized targeting, and offers. But you know, a lot of commentators are talking about offer fatigue, about online fatigue. And definitely there's this issue where is the agency and the client business ready to really answer what the consumers desire today, which is exactly what you're talking about. Price sensitivity, but also offline experience in this whole showrooming concept.
That's right.
So where do you think the next year will be in terms of winners and losers? Have you seen any dramatic, fast mover advantages that your clients have taken or other competitors?
Yeah, I think that there are some very interesting in the internet. There can be brands that are not so successful offline because they don't have the budget to advertise and they're not the really big brands, etc. But they can be very successful in e-commerce. And that is if they can find a specific niche and capture that market and be very focused. So there's this opportunity. So e-commerce open up opportunities for a lot of very small or entry brands. On the other hand as well, a lot of big brands, if they don't move on there, then I think eventually they'll die. So they're also moving in there. But usually, unfortunately, they're actually even slower because they already have a very big business. This is not so important. So I think the future is for those who realize the importance of and get there early instead of doing it later. Because I think there is an awful lot of learning. And if you don't capture also these new younger consumers because the way they behave is different, then you will lose the 90s, people born in the 90s and the thousands. So as an example, I think it is very interesting. My generation, how do we buy? People born before, I'm not telling you how old I am, but people born before the 70s, we will save a lot of money and then we try to save, okay, then I buy what I want as a reward for me. People maybe born in the 80s and 90s, their parents buy for them. So they got this and they shy, right? They share what they have. But now people in the year 2000, people born after 90s, they don't even need to do that. So they said, in Chinese, 求买. So they say, this is what I want. Their fans will buy for them. Their friends will verify them. They just show what they want and buy for them. So it's all different behavior. And I think it is those who understand consumer behavior, increasingly social, increasingly by internet, capitalize on that behavior, those will win.
Yeah. So definitely I think gift giving and the whole concept of sharing reviews and word of mouth is powerfully enabled through social and through search on mobile. Yeah. Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsor. When we come back, we'll hear more from Viveca Chan.
I do feel like America has not yet really gotten China.
It's almost like an economy on steroids.
Welcome back. We're in the studio today with Viveca Chan, Chairman and CEO of We Marketing Group, talking about how to make e-commerce social in China. Where do you see for a new entry brand, it could be a traditional one, do they need to be on every platform? Should they only select one? Do they build their standalone? What are the business readiness challenges for somebody who's really lagged and really needs to make a move? What's your advice?
You mean Chan, on internet e-commerce,
Is it Tencent plus Tmall plus standalone or just Tmall? What's the mix and what's the complexity of managing so many channels?
I think that question was very often asked. So I think that it depends on where the business is at the moment. If it is a totally unknown brand, then if you just go and set up a Tmall flagship store, no one will come. Because I think the issue is a lot of some of the mistakes is having your offline behavior thinking and think that you do the same thinking for markets and do it's the same online. The reason is because even if you open up a very beautiful flagship store on Tmall, you spend a lot of money, it's really beautiful, and you put lots of stuff there. The problem is if you're an unknown brand, no one will come because it's a search behavior. So if you go on Tmall, no one will see you. It's unlike, if you find a good location here, you have a big flagship store, no one heard, wow, what it is, someone will walk in. There's no walk-in traffic unless there's search. So therefore, it is actually better for them first to go to these like Yihaodian, if they're food, or Jingdong, because they have the traffic. So you put yourself there, and when I buy, if, so for example, you're a food brand, not very well known, and when I buy some other food, it's a whole basket, then I buy you as well, because free shipping is very important. So you borrow other people's traffic, establish a brand, and then you set up your store. So doing distribution is very important, and it's like penetration. So very often we need to do a combination. If you're an unknown brand, you have, yes, your flagship, but don't expect immediately, oh, I open the store, everybody will come. No, you need to also do a lot of penetration. If you're a very established brand, then you can do what you say, because people will, oh, now I'm there. You use your social media, you drive traffic. Now, your LV, I don't know, whatever big brand, people will then come to your store because you already have that demand. So I think it is a combination of both. That's why our e-commerce business, we are not a typical, we call service provider, TP, because we do not just do the shop design and operate. What we do is a total solution, and that is we are actually the online distributor. So most of our clients, we have exclusive rights online because we do both your retail store, also your wholesale distribution, and also manage all the C-stores. So we do all three levels because it is important to manage all the pricing and have a very clear role of what is my flagship store, what is its role. It's not just sales, it's also branding, collecting customer insights. This one is to help traffic, help you build the traffic and awareness, and how you link them up. So it's a total e-commerce strategy that understands the role of each platform and how they can enhance each other. So that's why we have our own warehousing distribution, our own logistics, our own CRM, and also we have a wholesale team doing distribution.
I think that's a very powerful proposition because a lot of new market entry clients who are unfamiliar with the e-commerce space, they don't realize that, as you have touched on, the principles of branding and awareness and sales remains the same. Mm-hmm. It's just that digital, mobile is another tactic. That's right. And that it needs to fold into the overall brand strategy. Mm-hmm. And I think over time, the key question will be then, once the tactics are developing and rolling out, is there a sure bet for Alibaba versus Tencent? Where do you predict that landscape? Will there be a shift, as there always is in China in 3 years, where one of them will disappear or one of them will dominate?
So I think right now, everybody talk about BAT as the big, the powerful three, and you need to understand what these BAT are doing. And so for Alibaba and Tencent, certainly this big competition here, no one can predict. No, 3 years ago I didn't know there's WeChat. There's no WeChat, right? And now it's very, very popular. But I think that at least in the next 12 to 18 months, in terms of e-commerce, Alibaba will still by far the dominant because they have already all the established infrastructure. So in terms of e-commerce sales, when you open a Tmall shop, they already have all the established backend. They have very good data, so you know exactly when you buy, who's buying, who's not buying, daily sales and all that. So a very established system. They also have established promotion vehicles, so all the big seasonal sales and themes, and they really draw or help you draw a lot of traffic. And also very important is payment, because it's all about customer experience. So all the payment and all the system is very well established. So so I think there is still, for the time being, if you talk about e-commerce, Alibaba is still going to be the major force. Now, of course, I think Tencent and Jingdong coming together is very smart because Jingdong has e-commerce platform, and then one is WeChat Mobile. So that combination, I think, is certainly, from a solo mode perspective, from e-commerce, is very smart. But this is yet to be developed because they're still just working out. So I think this is certainly one of our key attention areas, but it's still in a, quote, testing mode, and it will take some time. But I think both of them are very important platforms we need to understand more, and it will keep evolving. So we are there both and keep learning and improving.
I think China is definitely the place to watch for the next 3 years. With its very high critical mass urban population, we're definitely going to be showing the world how O2O, how offline and online can work together to really deliver value to both the consumer and the advertiser.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is in e-commerce world, I really think China is leading the world because the model is very different. In the West, it is more, very often people, the clients build their own website. Where here is the Tmall, the shopping, online shopping mall world. It's very different. In the West, nobody buys food on the internet. They still go to the hyper stores. Here in China, a lot of people and more are buying food items. So, so it's actually, and even cars.
And
right?
financial products,
and
everything, insurance.
So it's very different, and it's actually very innovative. So I think that what's very exciting for me is that getting into e-commerce now, I now see a really different perspective. Everything very ROI driven. Don't burn your money. We know exactly what's most effective, because if you, we have very specific ROI objectives. If you put in $1, then you want $4 back, $8 back. You keep evolving and optimizing, and you see it right away. So I think that it helps me as a advertising marketing person to now understand the other perspective. I know sales right away. I know everybody's pricing. I know the industry trends. I know the customer because we're directly in contact with them, and we know their feedback. We know how much they're buying, where they're buying, if they're not buying, what they're buying. All those insights, now I'm looking back to do better social, to do better even product development. So I think with e-commerce now, what we're doing is product strategy, not just selling. What product shall I sell? Testing new products. I'm doing pricing strategy for the client, how they should price. Because you cannot just low price. Once you have the low price, then you affect, because you can't go on the next promotion unless you have a very low price. So it's a strategy of how you bundle and all that stuff. And also we're testing price elasticity. We're getting a lot of feedback on products. So for example, Campbell soup. We know that a lot of consumers do not know how to use Campbell soup. So we $1, we have a limited offer. You can buy for $1, but you have to write a usage report. And actually, we have 500 people, and we got 360 usage reports. And really interesting, how they use Campbell soup. Like in Shanghai area, they actually like more sweet. They would put condensed milk. So, learnings are really interesting. And some of them share their recipes. So it's better than you trying to create it yourself. And you make it social, all right? You make all this real user experience social. So those are really new ways of doing it. Also, we would, as I said, promotion, we're very ROI driven. And so that put a really new perspective into what we do now. We actually can really do the 4 Ps. And I think that enhances your kind of total perspective for the business.
Viveca, thank you for coming on to Thoughtful China today.
Okay, thank you.
That wraps it up for today. Be sure to subscribe to us on Youku, Tudou and YouTube. You can also follow us on Weibo, WeChat and Twitter, and join our LinkedIn group. See you again.